For this brand, I was able to generate almost 100,000 euros over the last 3 months with a 5.3x in ROAS, all because of the setup that I'm going to show you in this video. After watching the video, you'll walk away knowing exactly which campaigns to use, how to structure your account, and also how to run ads in different markets. Alright, so they want to advertise all across the EU, but their main market is France, followed by Germany, and this is how we have structured the campaigns for each of the market. So for France, we have a main non-brand standard shopping campaign. They basically sell cameras and 2 or 3 other categories very close to that. And so in the shopping campaign, we have all of the products, all of the categories segmented at the ad group level, because in shopping campaign you can have different ad groups and give them different targets. So we want to control the spend at the ad group level. Okay, the reason being that they have a certain amount of money budget that they want to spend, which they do not want to cross, right? And if we were to create a lot more segmentation with different performance or margins or categories, we would have to give each of those campaigns a sufficient amount of budget for the Google's algorithm to work efficiently. But we don't want to spend that much money right now, so we have made that segmentation at the ad group level, controlling the spend in each category with the targets. So within the cameras, we have certain best sellers, best performers, that its own ad group with the lowest target ROAS, because that is what we want to push the most. And then we have the other ad groups at same target ROAS for all of them. Now this is a non-brand campaign, meaning we have completely removed any branded terms and all the variations of their brand name from this campaign. So it only spends on cold traffic that is searching for the product type, not for the brand. Okay, and that is the main goal with Google. If you really want to grow your brand and the overall sales with Google ads, you have to focus on traffic that is not searching for your brand, because most of the times when I ordered the account, the brand is spending a way more money on brand, and that is why their ROAS inflated, but the backend numbers don't match that, because branded conversions are generally not that incremental. So we have non-brand search standard shopping campaign with 60% of the budget running on target ROAS, and then we also have a non-brand search campaign which is focused only on the cameras, because that is still their best performing category. So we have the search campaign only for the cameras, right? And it is segmented into 2 or 3 different ad groups based on different themes. For example, video camera, so they sell different types of cameras, so we have different search themes on Google that people are searching for. So how you want to structure your search campaigns is you want to segment them into different ad groups based on those different themes, have relevant keywords within each of those themes, and then make the ad copy which speaks directly to that, and then also try to use a landing page or a final URL that is the most relevant to that. And that is how you improve your search campaigns by a mile, because that increases your CTR, that improves your quality score, that does everything that you want for your search campaigns to perform well. This has roughly 15% of the budget, and it is also running on target ROAS. Then for brand defense, so while we are making sure that we are growing the non-brand sales, we also want to make sure that we are still defending the brand name, because if you don't do that, then a lot of times there will be your competitors showing up in your place when someone is searching for you on Google, if you're not running ads on your brand name, right? So you lose some sales if you don't protect your brand on Google. And that is why we have firstly a brand search campaign, that this is literally the easiest campaigns to set up out of all. You just put the different variations of your brand name in this campaign. You run it on a very small budget, and we use target impression share bidding strategy instead of target ROAS, because the whole goal is to take maximum impression share that is available for your brand name. That is the whole goal with the brand search campaign. So that is the bidding strategy we use in here, and it will convert at pretty high ROAS. Then we have a brand shopping campaign. So as you cannot target specific keywords in a shopping campaign, but how we turn this shopping campaign into a brand only campaign is we use a script that automatically excludes all of the general search terms, right? And so it eventually turns this shopping campaign into brand only, because only terms that are left out are branded, so it only triggers from them. And we also run this on a target ROAS with, again, small budget. So in this case, it has 15% of the budget, and brand search has roughly 10% of the budget. And so again, just to repeat myself, only create segmentations when there is a specific reason to do so, and only create segmentations when you have sufficient budget to do so. For example, a segmentation, a separate campaign with $10 per day budget, but let's say your AOV is $50, that will fail miserably, because Google will not be able to generate enough conversions on that particular campaign for its algorithm to find buyers within your target ROAS or your target CPA. So now the last part is the brand shopping campaign, and this is the script that we use to do the thing that I just said. This was not created by us, it was created by somebody else, but we use this. And if you want this, then maybe comment something down below the video, and I'll copy and paste this script. But essentially how it works is that, so you create a shopping campaign first of all, then you find its campaign ID, you give the script the campaign's ID, then you also give it your branded keywords that you don't want it to exclude in here, and then you create a negative keyword list, right? You create that list, you apply it to the shopping campaign that will be turned into a brand shopping campaign, then you also give the negative keyword list name right over here, and then when it runs, when the campaign starts to run, this script automatically puts all the general search terms in that keyword list that you just gave it, and since it is applied to your brand shopping campaign, they are automatically excluded. So that is for France. And also, like, if you notice, we have campaigns for France, we have campaigns for Germany, and then we have campaigns for the other countries in the EU. And to do this, you have to make sure that you're using dedicated feeds. So because shopping is still the core campaign type that you want to be running, that you still want to try to spend majority of the money on, you have to make sure that you're creating dedicated feeds for each of the market that you're running the campaigns in. So for France, we have a feed. Language is in French, right? The currency is the same, but the language is in French because we want to make it relevant. Now for search campaigns, you can just change the copy or put whichever URL you want to, but your shopping ads are dependent on your feed. So again, you have to create the different feeds. And then we have a feed for Germany in the German language because it is a whole separate market that we are running. And so how the structure for the German market, how it looks like is we have a feed only performance max campaign to make sure that the limited budget that we have here is being spent on the shopping feed placement, because that is the highest leverage placement and the most important one. So we're just focusing on that for now. And it is also only running cameras because again, it is a limited budget, and we are not expanding it right now. So we want that budget to be more efficient. It is running on a target ROAS, and then we have a similar setup with brand search separately, which is also again running on target impression share. So that is Germany, and then we have EU. So all of the different markets are within this one, or these two campaigns. All the other countries, or not all the other countries, but some of the countries in EU are, in these two campaigns. And the feed here is set up in English because, these countries have different languages. So it is a little bit inefficient for us to create all of those different feeds and utilize them within a single campaign. So we just have a blanket feed which is in, the English language, and that is what we have for the rest of the countries. So the campaign structure is pretty similar. We have a feed only PMAX campaign, again, to for the exact same reasons. We want to focus on the shopping feed, and it is only running on cameras with target ROAS bidding strategy. Then for brand search, that is again on target impression share. So the main conclusion from these two campaigns is that you should not forget the fundamentals of Google, right? Because we have only two campaigns each in both of these markets, EU and Germany, because we have limited budget, so we don't have that many campaigns. We are focusing that budget on certain campaigns that we really want to spend on, certain placements that we know will provide us the best return. So you should always match your budget with the amount of campaigns and the product selection. So that is it for this video. Pretty simple setup. If you want any help with Google, there will be a link down below in the description to book a meeting with me. And yeah, thanks for watching the video.